Pruning. John chapter 15, Jesus says, I am the vine, and my Father is a husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now you are clean through the word which I have spoken to you. Pruning. There's seasons in our lives, right? When we prune a plant, we don't prune it constantly, right? There's a season. As at the end of the summer, as it starts to get cold, we prune back the vines that we don't want, where it's growing that it shouldn't grow, we prune it back. And then through the winter, it looks dead, right? It looks barren. But then in the spring, it starts to come back to life and even more beautiful than the year before. And we know that it's going to be way more beautiful than the year before because Jesus is the vine and the Lord is the one pruning us. So when we get pruned, we often want to be pruned once and then bear fruit forever, right? But the Lord keeps pruning the things out of our lives that are unnecessary or don't glorify Him. So we have a season where we bear fruit. We have a season that we're pruned and we just have to sit before the Lord. And sometimes that pruning is things in our life that we want pruned out and we're glad He did. Some of them at the time, we don't recognize that He wants it pruned out of us, but they need to be pruned. Sometimes it's emotional or physical distress. And what I found in my life is that some of the pruning often has accompanied great physical distress in my life. And when that happens, it's so not pleasant in the flesh. I mean, it's in the flesh, it's just awful and painful. And, when you're in pain all the time, there's more consequences than just the pain. It isolates you in a way. And so during those seasons, it's very hard. But it is like a honeymoon with Christ. I was thinking about that this morning as I was writing a letter. I was thinking back on my own life. It's like a honeymoon with Christ. And sometimes when you're in emotional or physical distress, you don't have the deepest theological Bible studies, right? Because you can't concentrate because of the pain or the emotional distress or the situation or whatever. But you have the fellowship with Christ. Sometimes you just have a word from the Bible that will get you through. And the Lord will bring you through it. And you will be stronger in the Lord on the other side of that pruning. You will be more beautiful for the Lord on the other side of that pruning. So don't lose heart. If you are in a season where you feel barren, if you're in a season where you feel like you're being pruned, the other side of that is beautiful. Your walk with the Lord will be more beautiful and more godly on the other side of that pruning. So hold on. And if you're in a place with the Lord that you're bearing fruit and you see the fruit of your ministry and the fruit of your efforts, remember, don't be discouraged when in the future there will come a time of pruning, because there will for all of us on this side of eternity. The Lord will keep pruning out of us what needs to be pruned for His glory. So when that comes, don't be surprised. And, it's not necessarily a spiritual attack, from Satan that's causing you discomfort. The Lord might use that, but the Lord uses these hardships to prune us in whatever form they come. So, just a word, y'all take care. Remember to savor your Savior.